Noel dreams of surpassing the strength of his grandfather, a legendary man, but unfortunately, his class is the weakest of all. Therefore, he uses his silver tongue to gather allies, develop strategies, and create the best clan in the world to fulfill his dream. In a small village, a dark abyss opens when the mana in the air reaches a critical mass, creating a door to the demonic realm of the void. The deeper it goes, the stronger the demons that emerge from it. That abyss is 12 levels deep, allowing beast lords to appear in the village and massacre the people. Meanwhile, an old man puts on heavy armor and nostalgically wields a large axe, while his grandson watches him in confusion. The man looks at the boy and tells him they need to leave. He takes him to a shelter with other survivors and orders him to stay there while he buys time for help from the capital. Noel becomes alarmed and tells his grandfather that they don't know if help will be sent and that he cannot fight alone. The grandfather tells him not to underestimate him and reminds him that he is the fearsome Overdeath, the untamed devil, vowing to give his life to protect his grandson. He then goes to the surface and begins cleaving demons with his great axe. By dawn, the battle has ended. Noel ascends to the surface to search for his grandfather and finally finds him, or at least what remains of him. The grandfather tells him that being Overdeath has taken a toll on him over the years and assures him that this is the fate of Seekers. Combat is his reason for living, and they walk hand in hand toward the same death. After saying this, he asks his grandson if he still wants to be a Seeker. The sun rises on the horizon, and Noel assures him that his dream is still to be a Seeker. In response, the grandfather advises him never to accept defeat. Noel promises this and vows to be the best Seeker in history. His grandfather laughs and assures him that he will always love him, then dies. Noel mourns the death of his grandfather, Brandon Stalin, who, in his youth, defeated Cocytus the Silver, a depth beast of level 13. That was Noel's goal. 2 years later, we see him transformed into a Seeker in a group of 4, surrounded by several beasts. Noel orders 2 of his companions, Lloyd and Walter, to intercept the enemy, while his companion Tanya protects the rear. His companions quickly eliminate the beasts without Noel lifting a finger. This is because he is the speaker of the group, the weakest support class of all. The beasts they face are minor vampires, very inferior since they cannot use magic. However, their queen can reproduce any of them. Still, Noel warns his companions not to let their guard down. An injured vampire jumps to attack Noel. Tanya launches an attack to the head and informs them that they don't die unless their heads are destroyed. One of his companions asks why they don't go directly for the queen and avoid so many problems, but Noel refuses. He explains that such missions would be difficult for people of rank C like them. If they finish off the minions before reaching the queen, they would have a better chance of success. Walter agrees with the plan, as Noel is the one who powers them in battle. He must choose which fights to engage in. Additionally, he mentions that if they got this rank B mission, it's thanks to Noel and his magnificent rhetoric. Speakers are a class that specializes in support. With their words, they enhance the abilities of their companions, but their combat skills are terrible, so their survival depends 100% on others. That's why they are considered the worst class. At that moment, a hidden beast attacks Noel with poisonous gas. His companions know they must get him out of there quickly. They organize and take positions, but a beast attacks Tanya. His companions try to defend her and counterattack, but it's useless. They need Noel and his enhancers to face them, but he is incapacitated by the cloud of poison. Walter shouts at Noel to tell them what to do and insults him, saying that he cannot call himself a speaker. Noel remembers his grandfather and tells Walter not to underestimate him. He puts an antidote in his mouth and shoots at the beast. He tells them he will show them how a speaker fights. He uses his abilities to boost his companions' skills by 25%, warns them about the beast's attack, and they easily dodge it. He casts another spell, increasing everyone's energy and mana by 25%. He orders Tanya to raise her shields while the rest of his companions resume the attack. They finally manage to defeat the beast, but Tanya warns him that there are more on the ceiling. She thinks that if they defend the queen, there's no way they can succeed. Noel casts a spell on her, giving her mental clarity, stabilizing her mind, and restoring her desire to fight. He sets a timer for 74 seconds and tells them he will take care of the minions while they focus on the queen. He orders Tanya to keep the shields up while Lloyd and Walter go for the queen with their best attacks. The minions launch themselves at Noel. He uses Wolf's Howl, taking them out of combat, and fires his ice bullet gun to freeze them. One of the vampires manages to escape. Noel knows he has only 1 bullet left. There are 43 seconds remaining, and their claws will pierce him in 28 seconds, just as he planned. He orders Lloyd and Walter to use their most powerful attacks, which he boosts with his magic. Finally, they cut off the beast's head. The vampire attacks Noel, But just at that moment, the beast falls dead along with the queen. The timer reaches 0, they win the battle, and the portal closes. His friends scold him for risking so much with his plan. He remembers his grandfather consoling him after he was assigned to the worst class since he wanted to be a warrior like him. His grandfather told him he was just like his mother, and just like him, he was born to be a seeker. His grandfather prepared to train him to be the best in the world. They head to Etrai, the capital of the Velnant Empire, known for its magical engineering. Since more portals appear in their lands than anywhere else, their inventions and research have focused on countering the portals. When Noel turned 15, he became a seeker, moved there, and formed a team. The group goes to celebrate their victory at a restaurant. The team consists of Walter, the warrior, Tanya, the healer, and Lloyd, the swordsman and leader. Noel knows that the team is missing an explorer, but he is happy with what he has to take his first steps toward his goal. Walter asks why he looks serious and accuses him of still being upset about the payment they negotiated for that mission, since Noel believes they could have gotten double. He tells him not to obsess over money, as seekers should be better, assuring him that his grandfather would say the same. Noel remembers that his grandfather told him to be obsessive about money, as it would allow him to get better equipment to fight, and that fame is just a simple medal for seekers. He tells Walter not to let anyone trample him or say otherwise. Noel assures Walter that he is not upset about the money and that it's old history. Walter, annoyed, tells him that his greed could damage the reputation of the team, Blue Beyond, and asks him to apologize. Noel sarcastically says sorry and points out that he is a better seeker than him. Walter continues to be angry and reminds him that he owes him respect for being 2 years older. Noel tells him that using his age to impose his opinion only makes him look like a spoiled child. Walter explodes, telling him that he only knows how to hide and give orders while the others risk their lives for him. Noel continues with the sarcasm, thanking him for doing everything in the team. Walter grabs Noel by the neck and threatens to kill him. Noel accepts the fight, but at that moment Lloyd stops them and tells them they are making fools of the entire team. He says they need to go and divide the reward. In a garden, Tanya complains about the low payment. Lloyd explains that it's because of the group's costs, like repairing equipment and contract commissions. That's why they only have 250,000 fills per head left, and assures her that they earn more each time, and that soon they will be able to earn even more. Noel points out to Lloyd that the low payment is because they are subcontracted by clans, which receive the initial payment and subcontract someone else to do the work, keeping a large part of the payment as commission. He also asks how much money they have saved so far. Lloyd thinks and responds that maybe 12.8 million. Noel proposes founding a clan with that money. Lloyd reminds him that the government charges them 20 million to do that, but Noel says he will cover the rest since he knows they will earn more money as a clan than being subcontracted. Lloyd tells him that in addition to that, they need a building as the clan's base, which comes with another expense. Noel tells him he knows a place with an affordable price. Tanya adds that they are still C-rank novices and aren't ready to manage a clan yet. Noel tells them they will never be ready and that they need to learn by doing it. He also mentions that he has studied a lot about how clans are structured and managed. Lloyd points out that being so inexperienced, the government will give missions to established clans. Noel replies that on the contrary, since they are young and handsome, the government, which tries to promote seekers to attract more people to the job, will give them focus just as they already do with the clans featuring charming and charismatic seekers. Walter wonders if this is really what the government is looking for. Noel assures him that it is, adding that he is also handsome in his own way, even if not many can see it. Tanya expresses her discomfort with the idea of selling her image that way, but Walter is already convinced and supports the idea of the clan, as he wants to be rich and famous to attract many women. He then asks Tanya if she would sleep with him if he took her side in the argument, but Lloyd quickly stops him. Noel turns to his leader for his opinion, assuring him that if he rejects the idea, he will take his share and try to found his own clan, as that is the next step to surpass over death and fulfill his dream. Seeing the determination in his friend, Lloyd agrees to the clan's formation. He tells them to go home and that they will discuss the details the day after tomorrow. The next day, Walter rushes to see Noel with bad news. Lloyd and Tanya have betrayed them. If you've reached this point in the video, don't forget to leave the word Exquisito in the comments. Thank you very much, and see you in the next video.